Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be discussing all the foods that you should avoid to prevent eye flutters getting worse, and especially if you're trying to reverse, treat and cure them, you don't want to be eating any of these foods. And in this journey it's so important to get it right. First of all, you've got to cut out all the junk food and the rubbish foods, then you've got to do the detox, the cleansing, the juicing, the fasting, then get on the new diet. A lot of people try and skip that and then you have a lot of malabsorption problems, and these foods just, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, I know, are just toxic foods and crazy foods, and maybe some of them are alright in moderation, but the others just shouldn't be for human consumption. They're just so processed and refined and not natural. So we're talking about sodas, fizzy drinks. I'm talking all of the fizzy drinks, all of the sodas. Absolutely avoid them, in my opinion, and that's what I did. Juices as well. I don't care whether it's fruit juice, apple juice, pear juice. It's all sugar water. If you want to eat a fruit, eat the whole fruit without the fibre and the vitamins and everything destroyed, because that's what fruit juice is. It's destroyed vitamins and minerals, and it's also sugar water. Some of the fruit juices can be higher in sugar than actually sodas, and the thing about certain sodas, is I won't say any companies, just look on the back: aspartame, ascoolsfame, fake sugars, fake sweeteners, toxic for the body, damaging the kidneys, damaging the liver. People forget this. The rubbish that you eat and the rubbish that you drink, I did this, I'm guilty as well. I'm lucky eye flutter is a blessing in disguise, because if, I'd be down in those sodas. I was a bad sugar addict. I loved fast food and sugar. I never got fat, you see. Quick metabolism. So I said, oh, I'm healthy. The inside wasn't. Anyway, we won't go into that. Chocolate, go for cacao, dark chocolate. If you want to have a little chocolate snack, make sure it's natural sugars and in moderation. And I know you're going to be shocked at this. Pasta. You don't want to really be having pasta. And you don't want to really be having wheat and gluten, because, and that means breads, bagels, things like that, you don't want to be having, because they're so white, bleached, okay, chemically cleaned. That's one problem. Next problem is they contain gluten, which is inflammatory for the gut. So as we know before, anything that inflames this area will inflame the eyes, and inflammation, what does that cause? Shrinkage of the vitreous, break-offs of the vitreous, inflammation to the retina and the uvea. And then also, they're just sugar. People forget this. High carbohydrate foods turn to sugar in the body. Higher in fibre, it's a slower spike. If you eat like bread, it's just as bad as having sugar cubes, because it's just going to spike a blood sugar and then spike insulin. Now, donuts, even rice. Rice you don't want to be having. Now, beer, I see you out there. Beer you don't want to be having. If you need a drink, red wine. Good for the heart, good for the blood. If you do want to have a beer and a treat, make sure it's really in moderation and you're not doing it 3 times or 4 times a week. Potatoes. I laugh because obviously I'm Irish and English, and my dad's side's all Irish, and they lived on potatoes for many years. But too many potatoes are bad as well, because they are very high in carbohydrates. If you want to have a potato, I would say stick with the sweet potatoes. But potatoes, you know, you've got the starch and the fibre. It's not as bad. You know, they're not as bad as the other carbohydrates that are just high in sugar. So we can be a bit more lenient with potatoes. Soy protein. Now this is the worst thing ever. So many people are taking proteins and they have protein isolates. This is dangerous. It's not going to help your muscles grow. It's going to cause IGF-1 to rise. Insulin-like growth factor. People don't forget this, right? If you're 20, 25, you're no longer a teenager. You're not growing in height, and you're putting growth in you. Yeah, your muscles may be growing. Oh, look at me, I've got muscles. What else is growing? Cells? Cancerous cells? Tumours? Cell mutation? You see what I mean? I'm a person, obviously I work in construction, I lift a lot, but look at me. I'm very lean, I'm very low. Sometimes you've got to look at your bone structures and think, should we naturally be muscly? Do we really have to be huge? Is it natural? Would you be able to get that huge in nature? What would you be lifting? How big would you get? You know, so just think about that. Everyone's got their own thing, but just going back to the main point, watch out for the soy protein isolates. A lot of them are GMO, glyphosate, that's sprayed on the crops. You want to avoid all of that. Now another thing is sugar alcohols. You don't want to be having any of these. So even chewing gum, watch out for chewing gum, because they have a lot of sweeteners in and chemicals, and not only that, it's high in sugar. You're eating a mint, you're eating a sugar high in mints. I've actually got some written down here, but my brain's always thinking about others, so that's why I go off on a bit of a tangent. Now, you don't want farmed fish like tilapia. You don't want any farmed fish, really. No farmed fish at all. Nothing that's corn-fed, nothing that's grain-fed. You want fish that is wild caught, natural, fresh, living water. And then if you're eating the fruits and vegetables, you want them organic. And the meat should always be actually grass-fed, because the amount of chemicals that are in the processed, it's just crazy. They're pumped with hormones. If it's not grass-fed and it's not organic, then you know it's processed and it's corn-fed and grain-fed. GMO, corn and grain. So you're getting the GMO, you're getting the glyphosate, and then you're getting the hormones that the animal was pumped with to make it have extra meat. Ooh, carcinogenic right there. Real carcinogens. And another thing, avoid using a microwave. I'm going off on a tangent now. I don't care how long this video is. This is beneficial. Anything that comes to my mind, I want to help you all. Everything that's going to help you get better with eye floaters. I don't want your eye floaters getting worse. And these foods that I'm talking about will make eye floaters worse. Take that from someone like me. That was crazy. And my eye floaters were getting worse and worse because I was eating this. It's only when I stopped all of this, oh, now we've got no new eye floaters. And then when I started the healthy protocol, we're getting a reversal in eye floaters. So popcorn is another bad thing. You want to try and get some natural popcorn, but very carcinogenic. You know, you want to avoid certain crisps because they have MSG in, so that's potato chips. You want to avoid them. If you can get a natural one, maybe you want to avoid MSG. Look on the ingredients for I need to do another video. I'll do a separate video. We're going to be the ingredients police, the ingredients watchdogs. I'm going to make sure that you go through your ingredients like a detective. What else should we avoid? Margarine. Oh my gosh, avoid margarine. It really annoys me, right? People think, oh, I'm going to have the vegetable fats. I'm going to have the vegetable oils. Stick with, I don't have dairy at all, but if you're going to choose between full fat dairy grass-fed butter and margarine, choose the saturated fat, choose the animal butter. I know it's shocking, but it's more healthier than that vegetable oils because, do you know if you have a lot of vegetable fats and oils, your lipids actually turn to vegetable fats and oils and oxidized. What does that cause? Atherosclerosis, arterial sclerosis, plaque, hardening of the arteries. Ooh, that's another topic. Crazy. It's funny how heart disease is on the rise, yet fat's on down. Do you know what I mean? It's funny how the diet's gone from, it's gone to low fat, high in sugar. Heart disease has gone up. You know, the whole myth about cholesterol and saturated fat is just an absolute joke. You know, if you actually look, the more cholesterol you eat from natural sources, it doesn't even have really much of an effect on your cholesterol numbers. You know, some people don't even have much of a change. Same as eggs. Right, anyway, that's another thing. What else do you want to avoid? Well, we said vegetable oils. Table salt. You want to avoid table salt. Opt for sea salt, and I would say pink Himalayan sea salt, because actually table salt is, I can't remember the compound now, I think it's called ferrocyanide. It's like an anti-caking agent, but that's really toxic. Did you hear the end of that? Ferrocyanide? I don't think you want to be having anything that links to poison. Cyanide. I know, you know, cyanide. So opt for the pink Himalayan sea salt. Avoid all these artificial sweeteners. You know, people say, oh, I'm on a sweetener now because I'm not doing sugar. Avoid all of them. And I think that's it for my list. I've actually got to the end of my list here, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Canned food, fried food, you want to avoid that. Anything that's fried, anything that's canned, you want to avoid. What else is there? I think that's it, really. There's probably other ones. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Cereals. You want to avoid cereal because that's just high in sugar and processed stuff. Yeah, this is the main things to avoid. Whoa, this is a 10-minute video. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for rambling on. This is going to be a long video to edit. I do apologise for rambling on. I usually try and keep my videos shorter and give you knowledge, but hopefully this is useful and beneficial. Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.